Hello YouTube, this is the Unlucky Tuggo 2, and I'm here to share my review on Season 14. I don't have much more to say, so let's just get started. Thomas's tall friend. Ah, crap. What a horrid way to start the season. We get possibly one of the worst Thomas episodes to date, and it's the premiere? This episode was terrible. I want to watch a show about talking trains, not a show about a giraffe who just can't sit down. This episode is bad, and I'd never consider watching it twice. 1 out of 10. James in the Dark. Here we go. Now a good episode. This episode was a bit ridiculous, but it was so cool. The whole episode is at night, and Soto has never looked so pretty. It seems James gets all the good episodes, and it's no wonder. He's a good character. 7.5 out of 10. Pingy Pongy Pickup. Another really good episode. Emily is back, and again in the sweet character like the way she was introduced, not all bossy and crabby. I really like the new Emily since the animated series began. The crashes in this episode were hilarious, and the near collision between Emily and James gave me a good laugh that was presented perfectly. 8 out of 10. Charlie and Eddie. 3 in a row? No way. This is one of my favorites from the season. It is such a great episode. Charlie makes his season debut, and Edward finally gets a lead role. The music and plot for this episode were fantastic, and I find myself watching it over and over again. Edward is perfectly in character, at least I think so. He's old, but he proves he's not slow. Old iron much? 9.5 out of 10. Toby and the Whistling Woods. Meh, it could have been better, but it was way too repetitive. Toby has lost all his original personality. It's like he can't even move 5 feet without getting scared or put down by something. The animation was really cool, especially the waterfall. I literally thought it was live-action footage when I first saw it. I think the episode needed more characters and a little less repetition. 5 out of 10. Henry's Health and Safety. Woohoo! An episode all about crashes. This was a good episode, and I'm glad Henry got it. He never gets good roles. This episode gave Henry, Rocky, and Hero their season debuts, as well as the Rescue Center. The crashers in this were brilliant, and it actually made it railway smart. We definitely need more episodes like this one. 9 out of 10. Diesel's Special Delivery. This episode left me with mixed feelings. I liked how Diesel finally got a big role, and that Rosie finally spoke, but it seemed too happy. Diesel, who's supposed to be the mean character of the series, is acting nice. He still has that devious side to him, as evident where he simply takes trucks without consent, but he seems too eager to please others. I can't decide if I like this episode or not, but I certainly don't hate it. It was still a good watch. 6.5 out of 10. Pop Goes Thomas. Another flop. Episodes where Thomas is the lead character just suck so badly. This one had such a similar plot to Slippy Soto and was rather boring. I could barely finish it, and I have no interest in watching it again. 2 out of 10. Victor Says Yes. No way. A 6th good episode and only 9 in? Wow. This is an awesome episode. The whole story takes place at the Steamworks, and Victor gets the lead role this time. This one had a good cast of characters, and not to mention Aaron Burr's comeback to the show. It had good humor, a good plot, and a good cast. Not a thing wrong here. Possibly the season's highlight. 9.5 out of 10. Thomas in Charge. Of all the Thomas episodes from the season so far, this one was a good step up. Thomas is still pretty airheaded, but this episode was enjoyable. It had good humor, especially the totally ridiculous collision between Percy and Mavis's trucks. Even I saw that coming a mile away. Not a bad episode, but not the best of the season. It could have been better. 7 out of 10. Being Percy. Percy always gets those simple episodes where you always feel a bit happier when it ends. A pretty good episode, and it was nice to see Percy take charge for once. Seeing him zip round Soda with all the mail trucks was really funny and exciting, and the near collision was just awesome. Another good episode. 8 out of 10. Merry Winter Wish. I'm not sure about this one. It had a decent plot, and I'm glad Salty spoke. It wasn't the best episode, and it was pretty much one of those stupid Thomas Does Something episodes, but it had some good parts. The crash was so unrealistic that I laughed so hard. This episode may have been made for Christmas, but I watch it just for laughs. It could have been better. 5 out of 10. Thomas and the Snowman Party. 1 out of 10. Thomas's Crazy Day. Yet another Thomas episode, but this was a good one. Finally, the Logging Locos made their Season 14 debut. This episode was really funny. I'm glad Cranky got a big role, and his exchanges with the simple-minded Logging Locos are very amusing. Ferdinand's face when Cranky listened was worth watching the episode for. Another one of those episodes where Thomas and Percy's best friendship is strengthened, and I love episodes like that. This is a good episode, and it is worth watching. 8 out of 10. Jumping Joby Wood. What's that? Have I found my favorite episode of Season 14? I think I have. This episode was hilarious, exciting, and amusing around every bend. Edward gets a second lead role this season, wow, and the whole episode takes place on Misty Island. A great plot, great cast, and some of the best quotes of the whole series. 10 out of 10. Thomas and Scruff. Another pretty good episode. We see a new character, Scruff, as well as Whiff's season debut. I'm really glad Whiff is becoming a major character. He's worth the screen time. Scruff is really interesting, and I like his look. The plot reminded me of Gary Takes a Bath from SpongeBob, but I think they could have done it just a bit more with it. Perhaps something where Thomas gets dirty while trying to make Scruff clean? That would have been a better storyline. Still not a bad watch. 7 out of 10. Oh, the Indignity. Another great episode. I love this one, and we finally get some visual insight on the waste dump. It was great seeing Spencer again, as well as Whiff and Scruff in the Steamworks. Wow, Scruff has only been on soda, a day? And has already broken something. Haha. A funny episode, and it deserves better ratings. 8.5 out of 10. Jitters and Japes. What a crazy episode. This was a rather interesting one. Dowager Hat was a big, bitch. I love seeing Annie and Clarabelle on Misty Island, but I don't like how the Logging Locos weren't seen once. A rather good episode, and a rather funny one too. 7 out of 10. Merry Misty Island. Ferdinand's Christmas Tree. Pure win. Enough said. 9 out of 10. Henry's Magic Box. And now we come to a close with the final episode of the season, and it has just got to be the worst episode in all of Thomas history. Come on, people, Henry is not that stupid. And making the whole plot around a box. A box! For God's sakes. And that's not the worst part. Oh no. The worst part is when Sir Topham Hatt, dressed as Santa Claus, in front of Christmas trees, doesn't say Merry Christmas, but instead, Merry Winter Holidays. That just killed it. Thanks a lot, parent activists. You suck. You suck so much. Half a point out of 10. Overall, I give this season 2 thumbs up. It certainly shows what Hit and Nitrogen are capable of doing with animation. This season has some of the worst episodes, but also some of the best. Jumping Joby Wood will forever remain one of my favorite episodes of all time. This season had a lot of good humor and quotes. Though, there are some things I didn't like about it. For one, I didn't like how Hero, Harold, Captain, Salty, and Spencer barely did a thing this season. They all spoke about once or twice, and that was it. And Bill and Ben didn't even appear, and that was really disappointing. But I suppose we can expect them to appear next time. So I suppose we can only wait for the next batch of episodes, hopefully better than ever. Before I bid farewell, I need to thank 2 very special people who made Season 14 awesome for me. First off, I want to thank Ben, also known as TTT Episodes 1 or Steam Team 321, for uploading all of Season 14 onto Dailymotion so us in the US could see the episodes as they aired. Thank you so much, dude. That was really kind. And last but not least, I want to thank Chris, or Thomas, Percy, and Toby too, for willingly sending me all his recordings of Season 14. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate that. I guess there's nothing much left to say except, Season 15, here I come.